So I'm Sarah. And I want to talk to you about my son Briggs. So, as he would say, I want to tell you all the things, but there's not enough time for that, and so I'm just going to share a few things about my son. Briggs came into this world at 11 and a half pounds, and he left this world at almost 6.5 feet tall. Everything about my son was larger than life. His kindness and his hugs, his brilliance and his uniqueness, his love of cats and his quirky and very bizarre taste in music. Briggs was my and his father's person. He was a lover of how all things worked, from building a sentence to the software and hardware of computers. I'll share a little story about my son. 8-year-old Briggs, or Briggsy, as he was known then, presented a report to his class at Raintree Montessori School on the Saturn V rockets and the Apollo program. In this presentation, Briggs discussed the specifics of how, when he was grown up, he would modify and improve of these 3-stage rockets. At the end of his presentation, one of his classmates raises his hand and says, Briggsy, do you want to be the astronaut that tests these upgraded rockets? And second grade year old Briggs composes himself very seriously. He looks out onto his audience of 30 of his classmates, along with some parents and teachers, and then he says, the scientific method requires that one must repeat an experiment 3 times with positive results. So I look forward to being on that 4th launch. So my son was brilliant, truly, but he was also pretty smart. Briggs was a creator. He was a composer of both digital and classical music, a singer with a broad range, a violist, and a computer programmer. As a matter of fact, programming and code that he designed is in use today in an international company that he did his internship. Briggs's passions were many, but maybe the most important, and I'm not sure if this is the right order, would be computers, music, family, and friends. Briggs's entire life, he was adamant about being a non-distracted driver. From the age of 5 onwards, he was the navigator, he was the responder to all texts, he was the controller of music and all the audiobooks. He did not like it when his father or I even answered the phone hands-free. We were not allowed to touch the temperature gauge or the musical dials. No volume control. On the morning of January 5th, 2022, Briggs was getting ready to leave, and we opened the UDOT app, and we saw that the map was green, and traffic was moving smoothly. We opened each and every single camera between San Pete and Utah County. The roads were dry and traffic was light and moving. After a lengthy process, he was off. 30 to 45 minutes later, his accident happened at the base of Spanish Fork Canyon. And we don't really know what happened. So we, as his parents, know he was not texting. He was not checking the dial of his volume or temperature gauge. It's possible maybe he fell asleep for a second. We understand that his car drifted over the yellow lines, and unfortunately at that time there was a truck there, and we lost Briggs instantly. It is impossible to believe that Briggs is not here today, that he will not be here tomorrow, and that he will not get what he was promised, which is his future. Please, talk about your concerns about driving and being on the road, about being prepared, about driving in a safe vehicle, about not being distracted. Talk openly about these concerns to the ones that you love, because we, Briggs's parents, Briggs's family, and Briggs's friends have found out in the most horrific way possible that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Be safe on the road and say his name. Thank you.